Nerd Skool is a member of the Queen City Podcast Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. Now offering video visits so you can take control of your orthopedic care from the comfort of your home. Schedule online at orthocarolina.com. Ortho Carolina, you improve.
Hey, fellows. It's the first snap of 11 of the season.
Nerds roll.
Lord have mercy. Okay.
I am a super nerd.
Oh, my glasses are broken.
I am a super nerd.
My pocket is infected.
I am a super nerd.
Excelsior.
Excelsior!
Nerd?
The Nerd Skool Podcast.
Starring Andy.
My name is Andy, and I am a super
am a former entertainment journalist.
TBJ.
Hi, this is Tiffany. You may hear me be referred to as TBJ.
TBJ, y'all.
I am what I like to call a surprise nerd.
Artstar.
My name is Artstar.
AKA
Darkstar.
He's the nerd Gotham City deserves.
And yours truly, call me Joe.
All right, the final episode where we cover Iron Man 2. We left off after Tony had a big battle with Vanko, and Coulson kind of made him work on a new project, and he worked on a new arc reactor heart light thing based on his dad's design. Andy told us about his attendance at the Soul Plane premiere also, but we're going to jump right back in and finish up Iron Man 2 because we got so much nerd stuff to cover. Here we go.
Okay, and then at Hammer Industries, Vanko has radically changed the design of Hammer's suits. They're now drones, drone better. Despite what Vanko considers improvements, Hammer is displeased and imprisons Vanko in a small room with 2 guards while he takes the drones to the Stark Expo. And then Hammer unveils his new military drones.
This sequence of his whole thing, his little party thing, his dancing on stage, and everyone going,
Yeah.
is so perfectly. You are not Tony Stark, and you want so badly to be, and you're not. You're just so damn sad douche.
His douche dance. Yeah.
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 Sam Rockwell does it great.
So his new drones are captained by Rhodes in a heavily weaponized version of the confiscated Mark II armor. Unfortunately, it's soon discovered that Vanko has pre-programmed the drones, giving himself complete control. And he's in a cell controlling them, and he has control of Rhodes' new armor too. And Stark arrives just as they go on the attack. As Stark battles these remote-controlled enemies and tries to evade Rhodes, Happy, Hogan, and Romanoff race to Hammer's Queen's facility to stop Vanko. When they arrive, they fight their way through the Hammer security guards, and Happy's pleased he took. This is one of my favorite parts. Happy fights one guy. Well,
She does a million guys. Yeah.
20 guys are out cold. She's kicking the shit out of all of them, and he's like, "I got him."
Meanwhile, she's left a wake of dudes in her path.
Yeah, this is one of my all-time favorite like female empowerment scene type thing where it's just like, yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
nobody's
very
perfect
well
at have that dumb lunkhead face that
But I also think it's perfect because it goes back to remember when she stepped in the ring with him the first time and he underestimated her. So like this is yet another time where he's like, I got it. And she's like, okay. And then goes and demolishes everyone.
Yeah.
I
think she told him to even stay in the car, and he was all macho chivalrous about, no, I'm coming with you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. I got to protect you or whatever. It's like, no, stay in the car. I don't need you. You're going to make it worse. And she beats the shit out of all those guys. That's great. Yeah. And but I like that. It really establishes what a badass she really is. Yeah. That's why I can't believe there hasn't been a Black Widow movie until now. Like, isn't there one coming out soon?
Yeah.
Supposedly in November.
Yeah. Or it was supposed to be.
The world wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it's been that long. I guess she's been in a lot of these, but
yeah, you're not the only one that's gone, where the hell is her solo movie? And it took them this long to get around to it. It took them until Captain Marvel to give any female hero their own movie.
Right, but it was a lot of complaining. Again, speaking of the subversion of nerds, there were a lot of boards that were like, where are all these women superheroes coming from? I was like, they were always there. Where have you been? I mean, they didn't go back and make up women superheroes. They existed in the comic books.
Right.
But there was an uproar among men. I say that.
Yeah.
They just always been viewed as like not minor characters, but like almost sidekickish.
Yeah, and there's a section of nerd journalism that I keep saying that really is for some reason invested in making everyone think that Captain Marvel was a bomb, that everyone hated it, and that Brie Larson is awful, and all the rest of the Avengers cast hate her. Like I see a lot of dumb articles trying to float that theory, and
weird,
just because there's a definite strain of misogyny in a lot of nerd circles. And there's another thing I remembered from our earlier conversation about because a lot of nerds will justify how much they love like sleazy cheesecake art and things like that, which is like a lot of objectification of women art thing. And well, look at the dudes; they're impossibly perfect body standards as well. That's for the ladies, and like they don't quite get that the big buff, powerful dudes as depicted in comics is generally a male power fantasy.
Right.
Just to be project that kind of hard, badass, super powerful, no one can beat me up kind of thing is very much
not the female's fantasy usually.
No, so female fantasy are usually a lot more geared towards the suave types, the gender bending, or at least like guys like, as much as I'm not a big fan of this dude, there's an X-Men character named Gambit that
Gambit's probably one of the best X-Men. But go on. If you don't like Remy LeBeau, why even like the X-Men? But go on.
Bro, doesn't he just throw planes
at
people?
So much more than that.
He's so a hodgepodge of gimmicks stolen from better characters. But
it's like people who sit there and say Iceman just shoots ice.
He does.
He's one of the most powerful mutants in the world.
Iceman is?
Iceman is one of the. He's a Omega level mutant. One of the most powerful mutants in the world.
Just put him in a hot room and he's done. Put him in a hot room. He's done.
No, Joe, that's not how that works.
See,
Joe,
he
it's
makes the hot room
10:07.
cold. He would beat the hot room.
Wait, would? He wouldn't just melt?
No.
He could freeze the molecules in your body and kill you.
Anyway,
he's not Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it was just like a thing where what nerds don't even know what their own power fantasies are about, and it takes some self-reflection that a lot of nerds don't always have.
Yeah, they're not self-reflecting right now. They're busy being angry.
Yeah,
and sexist.
It'll take some angriness to get to where we need to go.
It's this standard thing. Like you're changing what I think I love, so I'm mad at you for the evolution of this thing I love into something more people can love.
Right.
Therefore, it's not what I love anymore. It's what everybody loves, and they're possessive about their own personal view, their own slice of thing. Yeah. Social problems are things nerds have.
Yeah, for sure. And so then we have Vanko. Vanko's already departed for the expo in a new armored suit. Unfortunately, by the time they get there, an updated version of the harness he used when he attacked Tony in Monaco. And back at the Stark Expo, just as Hammer has finished his presentation, the drones attack the standing room only crowd and they begin to flee. Stark chases after the drones and engages them, while Agent Romanoff and Pepper have Justin Hammer arrested for harboring the fugitive Vanko. And Natasha is able to give Rhodes control of his armor again, and that's kind of a cool thing where he's like telling Tony, "I can't control this. He's coming after you, and I'm chasing you." It's kind of a cool chasing where I'm chasing you, but I don't want to, kind of thing.
Right.
I'm coming after you. Here I'm shooting you, and at least he can communicate.
Yeah, which is that's kind of a cool way to do a chase scene. You don't really see the guy chasing somebody warning the guy he's chasing how to get away from him.
Yeah, get away from him. I'm going this. That was kind of a neat, kind of cool, different kind of thing. But then, so Rhodes gets control again, so he and Stark can fight the rest of the drones together. The two armored allies combine their powers and successfully destroy all the drones. Which again, I stopped during this too. I was like, this is a great story. This is cool. Just destroying a bunch of drones and just blowing them all up, and you don't worry about anybody, who they are or whatever.
Right, a good fight scene between friends. Yep.
And their buddies, it's always cool to have two buddies blowing everything up together.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff where they're, when their backs are to each other and they're fighting, hey, watch this and do that, all that stuff's cool. But Vanko then lands in the area wearing a greatly updated armored suit with improved plasma energy whips. After a grueling battle, Stark has an idea for he and Rose to use a trick from the earlier battle during Stark's birthday party, firing their energy repulsors to collide and create the same explosion, with Vanko caught in the middle. And the maneuver takes Vanko down. Was this the time, too, right before this, when he comes, like, Tony does some kind of thing where it just blows up everybody? It's like, why didn't you start with that?
The one-shot deal where he just sort of does the crazy laser spin thing that slices up all the drones that are surrounding him. And he said, it's all right. It's kind of a one-time gig.
Yeah, it's a one-time thing. It's like, lead with that next time. Or something. Like, save us all that. That was kind of funny and cool. Yeah. Anyway, the maneuver they do together takes Vanko down, where they use the pulsars together. But Vanko's armor and drones are revealed to have been equipped with self-destruct charges. As they begin to explode, Stark races to save Pepper, rescuing her at the last moment after landing on a roof. She quits her CEO position immediately. Says, I'm not doing this anymore. And she finally gives Tony a kiss, to which they both find Rhodes sitting a few meters away, which is great. Funny banter there when he's watching them. And Tony finally tells Pepper the truth about his heart, upsetting her greatly. And then Stark tells Rhodes to leave, but Rhodes then claims, hey, I was here first. You get your own roof. Get your own roof. And that again, solidifies for me that Don Cheadle was meant to play this part.
Yes. Now, honestly, tell me if you think the previous dude, I'm not going to say his name, would have had the same, when it comes to these light. Nope.
Say his name.
Just because I don't want to let the other dude on this line go on a rant. But
what other dude? What other dude?
Listen, you know who you are.
Who's the other dude?
You know who you are.
Speak up, other dude.
Think about these small moments between Tony and his friend, and how nuanced, a little bit of comedic timing,
I said
and a little bit all that.
How I kind of grown to like Don Cheadle in this role,
which is great. I'm still gonna rub in your previous analysis before you changed your mind to remind you that once upon a time you were wrong. That's all.
I wouldn't say I was wrong. I would just say that I was indifferent to what was happening.
Wrong.
Yeah, I'm not going to claim it.
Wrong.
Claim it. I won't not.
For this part, I think this is what makes these movies for me is the funny little after battle quips and banter that makes them funny and human. And we just went through all this stressful, exciting stuff together. We've been through. It's like the post-coital cigarette of the whole thing.
Right.
It makes these characters so likable.
It's why people invest in these characters, because they're characters.
You like Pepper more, you like Tony more, you like Rhodey better. It's like they're your friends. You know what I mean? It's like they're your buddies at work.
And that's a big part of how nerds get sucked into these things. They really respond to the character moments and the ongoing thing. It's like not to go back to the X-Men again, but the X-Men haven't quite been done justice on the screen because they are much more of a character drama. The drama between characters is so much more important than the fight scenes. The ongoing.
So you're saying they didn't do that well, the character development?
They haven't done it. There's so much they can they've been mishandled. The X-Men in general Yeah, but like, I mean, yeah, but the X-Men in general, just the whole premise of mutants, like especially even that, like especially the way the world is now, like it's so much that you could do with these characters that they never really like. They were more insistent on making these super cheesy, like they had like big budgets, so let's make as many explosions we can. Let's do this. We can do this, and then like the drama, it was it was dramatic, but it's never been like, okay, well, let's just sit there and like focus on how these people are different than quote unquote everyone else. Like you have Homo superior, and like how they don't focus. They kind of hit that, but they don't focus enough on it for it to be like, okay, this X-Men movie was so great because it was about how this character was different and they wasn't human, how they were treated by society. It's just like, oh, they're space alien kind of things. They're like, cool, it's just a sci-fi film about someone who can shoot lasers out of his eyes and whatever. That's X-Men, like, if you really find a really good director with a really good storyline, you can take these movies can be just as good as what we've seen so far in the MCU. Just as good,
I mean, I would think that the X-Men generally led themselves more towards an ongoing television series where you can dive into different character arcs and different sort of things.
But even like I just finished watching, like literally before we started this, I watched the last episode of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I haven't seen it yet.
No spoilers.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like
Coulson dies.
Like Coulson, and I'm sure Andy's following up. Coulson's been dead.
Yeah, he has. Oh,
he's died like
I'm
40
sorry.
times.
Spoiler. But it's like it's one of those things where the way they ended it, it's like, okay, it makes you think of when they first started airing episodes of S.H.I.E.L.D. But even then, it's like the character development on S.H.I.E.L.D. has always been like, if you know certain characters or certain elements of like their books and like their connection to the Marvel universe, you get it. But other than that, it's just like this television. That's one of the reasons why I think Inhumans didn't do good. One of the reasons like the Defender series on Netflix sucked. How Iron Fist started off good and then started sucking. How Luke Cage was probably the best one because Luke Cage developed their characters more. Daredevil started off good, then it started sucking. The Punisher started good, but then it started sucking. And they all just sucked because their character development wasn't about developing the characters. It was like, this is Marvel, and this TV series is going to stand alone on the Marvel name. And it does not work. It does not work.
We need a side series called And Then It Sucked, starring Art.
I literally tried to watch an episode of, like, when I didn't finish Iron Fist 2, I tried to watch an episode of Defender, and I'm like, I cannot get into it. It's like, it was almost as if they just threw them all together. Jessica Jones was an awesome show, I think. Yeah. Jessica Jones and Luke Cage are probably the two best ones they did.
It never started sucking?
It never started sucking.
That doesn't get an episode.
I am way behind on it. I liked the first two seasons of Daredevil, Luke Cage. Mm-hmm. I saw Jessica Jones, and I was all right with the Defenders. Defenders was kind of short, but like some of the times, it feels like they're doing some interesting stuff, but it also doesn't seem like. I only watched a little bit of Iron Fist because I tried really hard, but I can't care about Iron Fist.
I did not. I couldn't get into it.
And I haven't watched The Punisher yet.
Iron Fist, they did this whole, like, there were times when they're like, especially once, even just the thing about the Defenders, or even like some of the later episodes were like, I guess on Luke Cage, how Danny Rand showed up, I think a couple of times or whatever, you had this cool Power Man and Iron Fist kind of collabo thing, and I was like, cool. But then we just felt like Iron Fist was pretty much Luke Cage's Robin. To me, it felt like in this old Netflix series. It wasn't even like, oh wow, like I didn't want to be like, oh cool, it's Iron Fist. It was like, so awesome. He's the immortal Iron Fist. I like watching this. Like, nah. You know, I was so pissed when they canceled Luke Cage. I was like, Luke Cage was just... And the soundtrack to Luke Cage is awesome. It is an awesome soundtrack.
I was just gonna say to put a button on the Netflix thing. It's like a lot. Some of the times it seemed like they had more episodes than they had story to fill them.
Right.
So
but that's also assuming that they were going to have more seasons of these shows too. Like felt like this was going to be like this great big universe that they was embarking on.
Well, I mean, they just like in S.H.I.E.L.D., they assumed, we're going to be connecting to the movies, so there's going to be a lot of back and forth, and we're Marvel, so we're too big to fail, kind of thing. And then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had to go, wait a minute, they're never going to invite us to be a part of that party, are they? So let's just do the whole thing. And then Netflix kind of turned out to be the same thing.
So are all those Netflix shows supposed to be in the MCU?
That was the original sentiment, but it doesn't seem to have been. Sorry,
they were almost like they started out sort of kind of like how like S.H.I.E.L.D. when it first started, it was MCU because you know they was cleaning up and doing all the type of stuff behind the scenes,
right?
And where like on the Netflix,
they were following the movies pretty the movie opened, and then the next week's episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was right after that movie.
And where on the Netflix show you had like
kind
Daredevil,
vaguely
and
mentioned the
and Jessica Jones, yeah, they were like saying the thing that happened in New York, like in the city, like you know it wasn't Hell's Kitchen, but they always kind of made mention to what happened in Avengers, but it wasn't like you know they talked about them a lot. Because pretty much most of the, other than Daredevil and I guess you could make a case for Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Like Jessica Jones, you know, she's like A minus Marvel superhero kind of, maybe a B, you know. So she's not like straight A-lister when it comes to like.
Who is Jessica Jones? Does she have a superhero name, or is she just Jessica Jones?
She had a story. She was created in the early aughts as part. Marvel was launching sort of an adult oriented line that's still set in the Marvel universe, and it was called Marvel Max.
Adults only? You mean like sexy?
No, just like sort of like how you have like the Black Label or like the you know some of these they're like mature like what's it the Max series.
Yeah, it was Marvel Max was the line. It was basically like adult themes. Although the first episode of Jessica Jones did involve some butt coitus, but it wasn't graphically a thing. Yeah,
butt coitus, is that the most polite way to say it?
But the best way is not to say it at all. I think.
Right. But that was kind of the thing. But it allowed them to explore a really darker theme of the whole Purple Man, Kilgrave. Like, what if there was a guy who just exuded pheromones that mind controlled everyone that came into contact with him, and he just could do whatever he wanted all the time because he would never suffer consequences. Which is, you know, a little bit Donald Trumpy in that way right now, but it was just it's a way to deal with like really more adult themes. And Jessica Jones was that, and her story was that she had kind of a tragic childhood. She lost her family when she was a teenager, but in the same accident, I think, kind of gave her some superpowers, or they experimented on her or something. So she had like super strength and could sort of fly by sort of walking on air kind of thing, or at least that's how she was doing it. And so she tried to be a superhero for a while, and her name was Jewel. But one of her first adventures, I think she was like an Avenger in training, and then one of her first things was she got caught up in the Purple Man's gaze. The Purple Man is the Kilgrave. His whole shtick is he's a guy who just
one of the Doctor Who's.
Yeah, one of the Doctor Who's played him in the series, but in the comics he's actually purple, and just anyone who gets close to him breathes in whatever weird mutant pheromones he has, and just falls under his mind control spell automatically. And they can't
do anything about it. And so, and this guy.
Can we get back to Iron Man 2 now?
I'm just
All right. Sorry. I was trying to answer your question, and then...
I'm sorry. It's so boring. I'm falling asleep.
Hence the Marvel Universe on Netflix. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, I think we'll get to all that when we get to every single episode of every single Marvel show on Netflix and Disney Plus. But for now, let's move on. We're pretty much done with the movie, but let's talk about the post-credit scene. We are in a remote area of the desert. We see Coulson driving, and we see this crater formed by...
Milnor.
Mjolnir. Meow meow.
I'll never get this. It's spelled Mjolnir.
Yeah, just pronounce it as if the J was a Y.
Mjolnir? Mjolnir?
All right.
Anyway, it's Thor's
Mjolnir.
hammer, and that just means the next few episodes we're going to jump to Thor, correct?
Yep.
correct.
And that's with Natalie Portman and that girl from the...
Kat Dennings. Say her name, though.
Two Broke Girls.
Kat Dennings.
What's that show she's from?
Two Broke Girls.
Two broke.
Two Broke Girls.
Two Broke Girls. I keep wanting to call it Two Girls in a Pizza Place.
That's the show Deadpool was on.
Yeah.
Two girls in a pizza place?
Two guys.
Two girls, one cup in a pizza place?
Ryan Reynolds was in that.
Two guys, a girl in a pizza place, starring Ryan Reynolds, who went on to play Deadpool.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that, too. I don't remember any of that. But overall, what did you guys think of this movie, Iron Man 2?
I liked it. It gets better like the more you watch it. I think at the time it was a little... I think people didn't react to it as well as Iron Man 1, probably because expectations were through the roof, and this was longer and it sprawled a bit more, and I guess it put Jon Favreau off of directing any more of these movies at all, but he still liked being a part of it, so he's been a producer the whole time. But I liked it. I thought it was it's pretty enjoyable. There's a lot of fun character bits in there. I love Sam Rockwell.
This is the last thing he directed, correct?
Yeah.
I liked it.
How many stars would you guys give it out of 5? Is this 4 stars? 5 stars?
I'd give it 4.
Yeah, I would do a 4 too.
Yeah.
I do a strong 4.
I'm over here thinking. It's a 3.5 to 4. Maybe a 3.75. That's also, but like I said the last time we rated, I'm not
an extra 25%.
Don Cheadle himself is a straight 100. But
that right there should bump it to a 4.
No, guys, I'm thinking big picture, right? If I'm gonna rate all of MCU, I've got to save some of my 4 and 5s.
All right, that's a good point. What about general nerddom? Is this looked at as a crappy one of the movies or one of the good ones? He said people didn't like the Hulk one.
Yeah, I think this was. It's generally viewed as okay. Iron Man 3 is the one a lot of nerds shit on because it kind of tries to do something different, and it bothered a lot of nerds for being too weird, I guess. Which I think is undeserved.
But this one's generally accepted. Nerds like it. They like Mickey Rourke. They like Don Cheadle.
They love Don Cheadle.
Yeah, I think it's liked but not loved.
Right.
It's not
loved is a stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He still has room to grow.
No, we're talking about the movie. Don Cheadle doesn't have room to go. Don Cheadle.
I said as Rhodey. Sheesh.
You're still wrong.
Don Cheadle's a grown ass man.
And he's phenomenal all the time. No questions, no debate. Joe's his close personal friend. How dare you talk crap on him?
If I just remembered his name when we walked past him, he probably would have said, "Hey, fellas, you want to go get some beers?"
You'll never know now.
Instead of thinking I'm a friggin' jackass. He probably thought that guy sucks. He just knows me from the playoff commercials. But it's just that it was in the middle of the playoffs when I saw him. You know, the playoffs were on. Those commercials were on all the time. It's the first thing that came to my head. I know who Don Cheadle was. I just couldn't think of his name. I'm sorry. Don Cheadle, if you're listening, I'm sorry, man. I love you, Don Cheadle. Let's be friends. Get some beers.
If you remember he was on Gold Digger, you probably would have been best of best.
Nah, he was on
Yep.
Golden Hotel.
Palace.
Golden Palace.
If you'd have pulled that Jim out, he'd have been like, my man. And then y'all could have been best friends.
I'd say, oh, that's the guy from the Golden Palace.
Right? And then I could have Don Cheadle in my life through association. So, Joe, you really messed this up for all of us.
And I really messed it up. I gotta introduce you to him.
Right? And then I could be getting married on the stage. See? Jeez, Joe. I'm going to be angry with you for a couple of days.
Well, maybe he'll hear the podcast and fall in love with you.
There you go.
And he'll say, you know what? It's not working out between me and whoever it is. Is he married?
You know, I have no idea. His personal life has never been like in the tabloids or talked about.
I guess we better find
Right,
out.
find out for Tiffany. Right. We should all write letters to Tiffany to Don Cheadle.
No, just
it'll be like a Make-A-Wish prom date kind of thing.
please come take Tiffany to dinner, please. Thank you.
We'll have to make up all these problems she has. Like
Right.
she only has a year to live, or
Oh no, don't kill me off.
But once you get them reeled in, then it's on you to keep them.
Yeah, I got that part.
Right, you'll recover, and like
right.
it's a
We just got to
miracle.
get him over here near us, and then I can move him.
He's been dating the same person since 1992.
Dang.
But you said dating, right?
Long-term partner.
Yeah, but 1992. This is not like they just started dating. They are literally committed. This is one of those.
Are they really committed?
They have 2
And
kids.
No,
Are
it's
they
one of
married
those. Because if they live in
Why-
California, they are considered. What's that? What is that marriage?
Common
If you've been,
law.
Common law, yeah.
they're common law, and so she has a right to some of his stuff.
TBJ, would you be willing to do like a Will Smith, Jada Pinkett situation?
No entanglements for me. I am not good at sharing.
It's like I either want you Don Cheadle or not have you at all.
Yeah, I'm not a sharer. It wouldn't work well. Mine.
Would you prefer Don Cheadle from Hotel Rwanda, or from Iron Man 3?
Iron Man. I admire his strength in Hotel Rwanda and his grit, but the one I want to gaze at lovingly is from Iron Man. But now I will not. Will let go.
What about his character from what's the movie he did with Adam Sandler? This is going to bother me.
Me too. No, I can't.
It wasn't Things We Lost in the Fire, right? Wasn't that, was it?
Oh, was it the 9/11 movie? The Adam Sandler 9/11 movie?
Is that it?
Love, Reign Over
With him
Me.
and-
Reign Over
With
Me.
I don't remember that.
Adam Sandler made a 9/11 drama.
With Don
Really?
Cheadle, right?
Yeah, it was called Reign Over Me, I think.
Huh.
Named after that Who
I've
song.
never seen that in my
He's like really out of it, and like Don Cheadle, I guess they was best friends or something, and he shows up, and then I guess he spends time with Don Cheadle and his family, and it's weird. To me, it was weird to see an Adam Sandler something so dramatic.
I like those things though. So I love when comedians play. Like one of my favorite things about Robin Williams when he played the creepy dude, where he was
what's that?
the photo guy.
1 hour photo.
Yeah, I love when comedians go left. So I know people hate it, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but like Adam Sandler in Spanglish and Will Ferrell in what is that movie where he loses a job and everything? And it's like selling everything in his house.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Everything Must Go.
Yeah, Everything Must Go. Like I like comedians when they're not being like. I mean, I like them when they're funny because I love Will Ferrell, but when they're like in a real life.
Will Ferrell's in a serious movie?
Yeah.
But I like that juxtaposition because you got shake and bake, and then you've got a real life situations. So
Adam Sandler was great in Uncut Gems, but
I've not gotten through that yet. Uncut Gems.
I haven't watched that.
I can't watch those kind of movies. I'm just too nervous and on edge, and I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel nervous.
No, I'm the same way. When people are like, "Hey, you should check this out," and I'm like, "Will it make me sad, or anxious, or upset?" Like I don't have the energy. I need upbeat. Give me a beat right now. The world is trash. We're in a big dumpster fire. Throw me some Christmas movies. Throw me some comedies. Let's go. Throw it at me. Yes, Babysitters Club, come in. This is the time. This is the time. Because
I've actually been binge watching The Good Witch on Netflix, and I do not watch Hallmark Channel shows.
I watch the hell out of
But for
Hallmark.
some reason, I cannot stop watching The Good Witch. I am 4 seasons in, and I just found out that there's 7 movies. Yep. And I'm like, I must watch these movies. And I'm like, why am I watching the show? And I can't. There are times I'm up till 4 a.m. watching an episode of The Good Witch, and I don't know why.
You're watching it because the world is on fire right now, and cheesy, ridiculous, just silly content a la Hallmark or wherever is good for your soul right now. Like, that's why you're watching it.
Full disclosure, I kind of have a weird man crush on James Denton, and I don't know why.
Is he the husband in that?
Isn't he from Desperate Housewives?
Yeah,
I think he's from Desperate Housewives.
The guy in that. My wife watches that, and he looks like Mitt Romney.
But it's what it is. It's that whole, he's sure of himself, so it's kind of like he has this whole like, yeah, I can get that kind of vibe, and he just goes with it.
Now everyone we know something about
what you know.
You never knew.
What you know?
I can't believe we're talking about this.
I never
School podcast.
Artstar's favorite man crush. It's cool. You have a little bromance.
It's okay, Art. This is a safe space.
Right.
Yeah, we appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
And your willingness to talk about it.
I'm secure enough to sit there and have man crushes. I think Brad Pitt is a pretty man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we all know about my, I don't want to say fascination, but my deep affinity for Tom Cruise. It is what it is. It is what it is.
No. And that's the one I don't understand. I can get with you on Brad Pitt. I can get with you on James Denton. And then you say Tom Cruise, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? And I want to commit you. See what happens? Your safe space is no longer safe when you bring up Tom Cruise.
When you see Tom Cruise, you don't want to go on a mission with him. You can't tell me you don't feel that way.
I don't want to go on a mission with him because they all.
Want to go on a mission with him.
I don't want to show up in any situation where Tom Cruise.
You want to be like, Tom Cruise, tell me what to do.
No, I would not. I would say, Tom Cruise, get away from me because you bring trouble. So please step away.
You need to get past the whole Scientology thing.
No,
even past
that.
Get
past it. He needs to get past that Scientology thing. We don't. He does, and then I'll listen to you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 3-1.
Oh, by the way, Tom Cruise was one of the favorites to play Tony Stark before Robert Downey Jr. was cast. He was very much in discussions, and a lot of nerd rumors kind of assumed he should play it.
No.
Yes.
Right? Could you imagine him in the? No.
I wouldn't have advocated for that, but I'm kind of this whole jumping on him right now. It's like it's just too much.
Nope.
Time. What did Tom deserve to be shunned like this? I mean,
Scientology. It's all
Scientology, and I just don't think he's that fantastic.
Hey, we all have our faults.
Yeah, I don't find when I'm watching a movie with Tom Cruise, I'm not admiring his acting chops. I'm not. There's nothing happening there. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so well done.
So does Tom Cruise come off like? Is he like the Justin Hammer of like everything? Of like every man in the...
I wouldn't mind him as Justin Hammer.
But even like, so think about Jerry Maguire, right? Where he's posed to be the hero. He's not. You're an asshole. You were an asshole. You are an asshole. You have an asshole job. You got out asshole. And then your way of getting back is to string some chick along while you're still being an asshole. Oh, at the end you realize you loved her. You're still kind of an asshole. So again, show me where he was lovable. He had asshole tendencies in there too.
Tom Cruise sucks. He's an asshole.
Yeah. He's got a shtick.
He's a dick.
But he doesn't even realize it, though. And that's the trick.
Tom
Like,
Cruise sucks.
I'm sure Liam Neeson knows at this point he's playing Liam Neeson, right? He knows. It's what he's doing. It's his career. I don't think Tom Cruise realizes he's just playing Tom Cruise.
You don't like Liam Neeson?
I love Liam Neeson.
Okay.
Okay? I just dislike Tom Cruise greatly. Like, greatly.
Now, didn't Liam Neeson do something wrong? Didn't he say something racist or something?
Yeah.
Was there?
There was a thing where he sort of admit, like he, in the context of saying this was an awful thing that I did in the past, and feeling like ostensibly being contrite about it, said something about like one of his friends got raped or something.
Assaulted us, yeah. He wanted to go find a black guy and just beat him up or something. Cause
I'm gonna take him down now. No.
Wow.
No.
You don't remember that? That was a big thing.
No. Maybe I just
blocked it out. At the
out.
same time as what's that movie he did where his son got killed and he was for all intents and purposes a snowplower. What movie was that?
The one with the wolves?
No, not the wolves. The one where he was plowing the snow and they had like the mafia or whatever.
I was about to say like the one where he goes to revenge someone's death.
Yeah, right.
Like all of them.
Revenge. Yeah, but this one, he's a snowplow driver.
Isn't it called something with snow in the title?
Maybe.
Or ice or cold dead hands or cold
I feel
heat.
like
it's something cold. I think it's something Cold Pursuit. I think it's Cold Pursuit it might be called.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Could be way off. But I do believe cold is in the title.
All right, and that'll wrap up the Iron Man 2 on that note. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back with Thor coming up soon.
4.
Some more WandaVision episodes here and there. Thanks for listening.
And in the meantime, there's a challenge. Think of what Marvel character or maybe even DC character could Tom Cruise play acceptably? What comic book character would you accept Tom Cruise as? That's a puzzle.
Wow.
Puzzle for next time. Justin Hammer's already taken. He has to be somebody else.
There's room for him.
There's room for him somewhere. Just got to think about where.
Rate, review, subscribe to Nerd School.
Nerds roll.
Excelsior. My glasses are broken.
My pocket is protected.
Okay.
Rap about the president no more, but evidently they don't see we in the streets still poor. Still more incarceration of my kinsmen by the prisons, and people thinking this election to end racism. Proud over pessimism, glad to see Obama, but don't expect me not to speak out when I still see problems.
The Nerd School Podcast.
Nerd School is a member of the Queen City Podcast Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. Now offering video visits so you can take control of your orthopedic care from the comfort of your home. Schedule online at orthocarolina.com. Ortho Carolina, you improved.